What's up guys, Ryman here, and we're going to be talking about Chizuru's kit that has just been revealed. I am super excited for her, even though I have like Keiron, I have Renoa, I have all these void characters already, and I have Ren too as well. Hey, I gotta add another one to the team, but hey, let's jump right on into it. So I got my whiteboard here on Canva, and I know it's kind of cluttered with everything, but bear with me. But we're just gonna go through everything that they talked about on the live stream with Genizat, Fault Master, and then the other gentleman, I forgot his name, but they did a live stream talking about Chizuru and the update that's going to be coming out in a few hours and what we're going to be getting with all that stuff. So the first thing for her is the mechanics. By using the core starter card Hellfire, you can apply the unique debuff Curse Shackles to enemies and then attack them to gain exclusive resources. When you obtain the exclusive resource, you will gain a bind card, and every bind card you obtain will stack into a single card and become stronger. The more hits a card deals, the more easily you can acquire this exclusive resource. Using this Tsukiyumi card, you can gain additional exclusive resources equal to the number of hits from your attack cards, allowing you to accumulate exclusive resources more efficiently. You can attain the exclusive resource and the Shadow of the Moon card by attacking the target under the Curse Shackles. Under the Curse Shackle status, using a single card to attack multiple times will make it easier to earn the resources. So basically what we need to do is make sure that we're applying the Curse Shackle status on the enemy that we're attacking. And once we have multiple of those, we will be able to use the Shadow of the Moon card. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I'm stupid. So correct me if I'm wrong, please. By using the Bound at Dust card, you can reduce card costs, easing the burden of your AP usage. By using the Bound at Dust card, you can reduce card costs, easing the burden of your AP usage. So basically, this card is just making it easier for us to use our AP. So that's nice. That's a good little effect. So we have the card effects over here. We have Bind, Inhibit, Curse Shackles, which we just talked about, and Will-O-Wisps. Bind. When bind cards of these units are in hand, stack into one card. If bind is 3 or higher, change into Shadow of the Moon Plus. When using card, stats resets matched 5 times or 5 stacks. So basically, I think this is probably good for us not to get our hand cluttered with so many of the bind cards. So once they stack, if we get 3 or higher, it changes into the Shadow Moon Plus, and then when we use that card, it resets the stacks. So that sounds pretty good. Inhibit. Cannot gain AP except at the start of the turn or on Ravage, which is when you break the enemy. Add 1 hit to Shadow of the Moon Plus. Okay, so adds an additional hit to that. Curse Shackles, the thing that we just talked about. When an ally uses an attack card other than the bind card on a target with Curse Shackles, Chizuru gains 1 Will-O-Wisp. When applied to a different target, remove Curse Shackles. So basically we need to have our allies keep attacking the target with the Curse Shackles so Chizuru can gain that Will-O-Wisp. But when applied to a different card, we lose those Curse Shackles. So we have to keep that in mind when we're doing our turns and stuff. 5 stats of Will-O-Wisps create 1 Shadow of the Moon card. Upon activation, decrease Will-O-Wisp by 5. Okay, so when we have the 5 stats of the Will-O-Wisp, we were able to get that Shadow of the Moon card, which I'm guessing this is the damage card. And then when we activate that card, we lose the Will-O-Wisp and we have to reset and build that back up. And once we build that up, we get the Shadow of the Moon card, and we just keep going forward from there. Okay, so these are her cards right here. So we have 50%, 60%. I can't see that. Let me zoom in some more. I'm legally blind. 60% times 2 damage, 60% times 2 damage for the basic card. I don't think there's a basic card besides hers that does time 2 hit damage. Like you hit twice, boom boom. I could be wrong. Spirit Flames Ward, 100% shield. We don't need that. We can just get rid of that. Karmic Flames. 100% damage, 1 curse shackles. Curse shackles add 1 hit. So this is the thing that's going to be giving us our curse shackles that we can apply on the enemy. And then from there, Tsukiyumi. 2 Will-O-Wisps for each hit of the next attack card of this unit's use. Tsukiyumi. 2 Will-O-Wisps for each hit of the next attack card of this unit used. So when she does an attack on the enemy, we will get 2 Will-O-Wisps. At the start of the turn, gain inhibit, decrease cost by 1 until 1 random cards of the other combatants are used. At the start of the turn, gain inhibit. Let's go back and see what inhibit does again, because I didn't remember. Cannot gain AP except at the start of the turn or on Ravage. So when inhibit is activated, we can't gain AP, which means having Mika with Chizuru is not going to work. Because Mika gives AP, so we need to use Ren or some other characters besides Mika, which is good. So if we have 2 teams, we can have Mika on one team and we can have Chizuru on the other with Ren or whoever we need. I think that would be pretty good. We just got to be careful when managing our APs and using our cards, especially when we use this card, because that's when that effect takes place. Decrease cost by 1 until 1 random cards of the other combatants are used. Decrease, do they mean decrease this card cost by 1? Or decrease cost by 1 until 1 randoms of the other? Yeah, I think they mean decrease this card by 1 until 1 random cards of the other combatants are used. So once they use a card, this goes back up to 1. So until then, it will be 0. If I'm reading that correctly, but you guys correct me if I'm wrong, let me know. Oni Hunt. 60% times 3 damage plus 30% damage amount to the next bind card used. I'm thinking the bind card is like how Renora has her bullets and Luke has their bullets. Maybe it's like a pop-up card like that, and then we can have that in our deck, and then that stats on top of each other. I'm thinking that's what it is, and that's just me guessing. So 60% times 3 damage plus 30% damage to the next bind card. So when we use this card, we'll get 30% damage amount to the next bind card, whatever that looks like, and we can stack that up. We can stack up that damage even further from there. Shadow of the Moon. Bind 1/retain. 50% damage plus 20% damage amount for each bind stack. So once we have our binds stacked up, then we should use probably this Shadow of the Moon. Bind 1, I think bind 1/retain. So do we get a bind with this? Or we can retain it, but I think, do we get a bind when we use this? I'm not sure. I had to test her out. I will be pulling for her, so we'll have to test that out to see exactly how that works and stuff. Unique bind 3. Unique bind 3 retain. So a unique card, so we can't have an epiphany on this. 70% damage times 2. Heal 5% of match HP plus 20% damage amount for each bind stack. 70% damage times 2. Heal 5% of match HP plus 20% damage of each bind stack stat. Damn, so this one's even better. I feel like that's crazy. Plus 20% damage for each bind stat. So if we have 5 stat, it'll make that Shadow of the Moon card. It'll make this card. So maybe when we have 4 stack before we get, no, because we need that Shadow of the Moon. No, I feel like maybe if we have 4 stats, we use this card first, and then it creates, I'm guessing it's going to create 3 bind cards. I'm not sure. Maybe we need a minimum of 3 bind before. No, I don't know. I think this gives us 3 bind cards, I think. I'm not sure, but we'll definitely be testing that out to see how that works. And then we got her ego skill, Moonlight of High Tide, 250% damage for each Shadow of the Moon created, 0 plus 50% damage amount, max 10. I feel like 250 damage for each Shadow of the Moon created. So we have a lot of Shadow of the so anytime we have Shadow of the Moon, I think this tallies up. Yeah, for each Shadow of the Moon created. Yeah, so anytime we create that card, we get a tally here, and that adds up to the stack. I think this is not bad. I think this is pretty decent. 50% damage amount, max 10. Yeah, I think that's not bad. I think this is pretty decent. It's not the best. How much does this cost, I wonder? I don't know how much it will cost to use this skill, but I guess we will see tomorrow. Manifest Ego, level 1, plus 20% damage amount to the Shadow Moon, plus 3% to recover amount of max HP. And this is her level 2. When using Shadow of the Moon card plus create 1 Shadow of the Moon. These are her Eidolons, or her copies, the dupes. Yes, these are the dupes, I believe. Level 3, plus 50% damage amount to Moonlight of High Tide. Level 4, when Shadow of the Moon is created, gain 1 Lunar Shard. Lunar Shard plus 10% damage amount to Chizuru's attacks. Oh, to amount to Chizuru's attack cards, max 3 stacks. Increase the level of basic card attack, or basic card upgrade, unique card upgrade, and the common card upgrade by 3. Level 6, change the damage amount. Increase the effect of Lunar Shards to 15% and add 3 stats of Lunar Shard plus 1 hit count of 1 Shadow of the Moon card. Wow. Yeah, these seem like some pretty 20% damage amount to Shadow of the Moon plus 3% recovery amount of max HP. That seems pretty good. So if you guys trying to whale for her, hey, you can probably pull some of these copies. These copies seem pretty good. Better than some of the other units. So if y'all trying to get some more copies of her, then hey, go for it. I'm just gonna stay at E0 probably. Recommended combination. So they got Chizuru here with Teresa and Rei, and I'm guessing with that DOT with Teresa that helps with Chizuru, because they're saying it enables aggressive play, increased card hit count. So I guess that agony adds up for her cards. So they got Chizuru with Cassius and Luke. I wonder why they have Luke here. I know Cassius is good for cycling to her cards to get that ability for her, that shackle chains. But Luke, I wonder why Luke. Interesting. So we have Yuki helping with the AoE damage, we have Chizuru with single targets, and we have Nia for buffing them up and then using cards with her amp state thing. So that seems like a pretty solid team. I don't know what team I'm going to be running on her actually, because I don't have Nia, I don't have Yuki. Of course I have these two because they come with the game. I have Cassius, I don't have Luke. I wonder if I can run Renoa with her, or maybe Veronica. She might be a good choice. I don't know. I have to figure out and see who I want to run with her, and then just go from there. But we'll see how that works out. And we also got some new memory fragment sets as well. Orbs of Inhibition. 4 set, when hitting 2 times with 1 attack card plus 10% damage amount to void cards for 1 turn. 2 times per turn, Judgment's Flames. This is definitely catered for Chizuru with those 2 attack hits, and then she gets that plus hit on her other cards. I think this could probably work for Ren too, because she does have some 2 hits too as well. But usually I think the meta is to have just 2-piece, 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 because the 4-piece sets they're not really that great, and you get more benefits from having just a 2-piece, 2-piece, 2-piece. That being said, we could just test this out and see how that works, if it's going to be good or not. You know, just run through various test cycles and see which one works better for Chizuru and which one works better for the other units that have voids. I don't think this is gonna work good for Kayron, but I could be wrong. Well, he does have some other hits in there too, but We'll see. We have to test that out. And the other one is Judgment Flames 4 set plus 50% damage amount to instant cards used against ravaged targets. It is nice that we are getting new sets, because the sets that are already in the game aren't the greatest. But it's awesome that they're making these updates. And then we also get that resources back when the update launches too. So all that stuff. And we also get the resources back too when the update launches. So all the currency and all that leveling stuff that we spend, we get most of that stuff back. And that's going to help a lot. So we can focus on more characters, building more characters. Because I want to play other characters too, but we're kind of like locked down and we're all kind of broke. Not kind of broke, we're all very broke, and we don't have anything to, we can't progress with characters that quickly because we don't have the resources to. But now that we're getting this resources back, we can start working on getting characters to 55, completing some of those activities that will help us in the game, and you know, just having fun with the game, building more characters that we wanted to build. And I think that's a big W. I think they've been working super hard and making all these changes to the game so that we can fully enjoy it better, and new people can come in and play the game and enjoy it as well. Translations still need work, but I know they're doing the best that they can to make sure that we all have a good time with the game. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. Let me know what you guys think about Chizuru, and are you gonna be pulling for her? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for being here. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'm gonna be trying to post more so we can just grow this community and, you know, just have fun with each other. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for staying here. Appreciate you guys. Have a good day, good night, or good evening wherever you are. Take care. Bye bye.